Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, all our players want to win. I mean, that's the most important thing, and we've got to get back on a winning track. I mean, we're not doing it there. So if we want to attract not only our own free agents, but we want to attract whatever it may be to come here, in future years, we've got to show that then there's a pathway to win here. I think there's a very clear pathway from draft assets, cap room, and space, and everything else that we've got. We haven't had a lot of those things in the past, so I think there's a pathway there to do it. And I think this city speaks for itself. I mean, we've shown it's been very clear that people have wanted to come here and play in the past, and there's been no short.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Rage and Cypher. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at NetsKingdom1. All our Twitters are at the bottom. So today we're going to talk about, are the Nets going to shamelessly tank? We want the Nets to shamelessly tank for this 2026 draft. Starting off, before we give our opinions on that, this 2026 draft, man, I am so excited. Like this 2026 draft is just insane, stacked to the T. One of the best drafts I think we'll see. Like, the way I view this 2026 draft is kind of how I view like I know last year I compared the 2025 draft to like the Zion RJ draft, but this draft I compare it more to like the Braun Melo Wade draft. Like the top three is just superstar potential to me, like undeniable heat, as you would say, in this 2026 draft. These three guys, it's worth it. AJ DeBansta, Cam Boozer, and Darren Peterson. If you haven't done your Googles, please do your Googles, do your research, because these three guys are incredible. But the key is to tank. And we saw Sean Marks this year failed us with the tank. At the deadline, we were the fifth. We were the fifth worst team in the NBA, and the Sixers knew it. They knew it. They were in sight. They saw Daryl Morey, saw, Embiid's gone. Paul George is hurt. All right, cancel those guys out. I'm going to send Tyrese Maxey to Mexico. He's not going to come back. And we're going to be led by Ricky Council, Quentin Grimes, and randoms. And they surpassed us in the tank and ended up getting the number 3 pick in the draft. So we failed. Now, this year coming up, let me ask you guys this. If you're Sean Marks, what are your plans to egregiously tank this year? Or is the team just organically bad enough this year? Because last year we saw DFS, Dennis Schroeder. We had a bunch of vets. We had a lot of vets on this team. But this year it's like we have a bunch of rookies. Our 2 vets are what? Michael Porter and Terrence Mann, and maybe Clax, if you want to count Clax as a vet.
Keon.
Yeah, what is the number? So we'll find that number they put us at over under. I think we were over under 19 last year, but I think now we're at 21.
Yeah.
So what do you guys?
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't hear you. What you said?
Yeah, last year I think it was like 19 and a half, 18 and a half, frankly. And now this year it's 20 and a half.
20 and a half. Okay, yeah. So what do you guys think Sean's plan should be this year to actually tank correctly? If you want to shamelessly tank, if you want to put it that way.
So I do think that we should be organically like bad enough in general to just, not be but at least bottom 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like the possibility of MPJ looking good is obviously it's there, nothing too crazy, but there's that. Obviously we still have CT, if he gets a full year in, that could be interesting. But although it's just, we have to do what we didn't do last year and just rest some of these guys earlier in the season. Like with CT, with MPJ and Claxton, like these guys should be resting way earlier than 10 games left in the season, or 20 games left in the season. Like CT and CJ, they both dealt with injuries, but it was crazy to me that Clax literally didn't sit at all until 10 games left.
Yeah, I agree. That was very crucial, because I was wondering why we were you look at the great tanking teams in the NBA, and the Utah Jazz, perfect example. You barely see Lauri Markkanen out there. You barely see their best players out there. And I think also, before I let Saif go, we got to take advantage of tanking the teams that are good and are supposed to beat us. Yeah, you go ahead. You unleash the Michael Porters and the best guys and the CT, whatever. But the teams that are in the tanking categories, I think what are there? Probably 3 or 4 teams that are tanking next year. You got to be bad against those guys. That's when you start to rest. That's when you rest when you're playing those teams because we need tiebreakers. We need tiebreakers for sure. Go ahead, Seth.
Yeah, the Jazz are the example I use when there's any like debate or discourse about whether or not the Nets tanked last year. The answer is no, they didn't. They didn't tank the whole season. Like, okay, they tanked in stretches, but tanking in stretches is pointless. Like, they got to do it the whole season because the Jazz, like, they took it seriously day one. They're like, hey, we're going to rest guys, we're going to limit minutes, we're going to play a ton of rookies. And look, they had like way more talent than we did. Like, they had Lauri Markkanen, they had John Collins, they had Colin Sexton, they had Jordan Clarkson, and those guys, like, they didn't play as much as they should have. They didn't run as many sets as they should have, and they end up winning like 19 games, and we won 26. So, look, if the Nets want to tank, and look, they can't use the rookies as like, they can't assume the rookies are just going to play badly. Like, Jordy's going to like have his systems. He's going to motivate them. They're going to pick up full court. They're going to try hard on defense. They're going to die for loose balls.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to win more games because of that, and they got to like prepare for that. Like, Sean Marks needs to make it clear, hey, we traded 4 first-round picks to get our 2 picks back, and right now the Nets traded all those picks to just move up 2 spots in the draft and get Igor Denham.
Yeah. Yeah, like
this year they got to tank hard from day one and really rest guys. And I don't know, it's going to be tough because you have MPJ on the team, and he wants to like prove himself. You have all these young guys. You have Cam Thomas that's going to play for a contract if he's on his qualifying offer. It's going to be tough. Like, they gotta settle things, and they got to make sure that this pick that they get is going to be like at least a top 5 pick.
Yeah, because
Gotta take this seriously.
Everybody has to be on one accord. Like, tanking, it's like, and I hate putting this in like Jordy's, like, I think players and coaches are not supposed to tank. I'm taking all blame away from those guys. I'm putting 100%, maybe I guess I would say 80-20, or I don't know. Yeah, 80, maybe 80% on the GM, because the GM has to make the roster organically bad enough to be really, really bad. But at the same time, there's certain situations where I'm not going to tell Jody to tank. I'm not going to tell players to miss shots. I'm just going to tell, yo, CT, you're done for today. You're not playing this game. Or, yo, Michael Porter, yo, Jordy, I'll make the call, yo, Jordy, Michael Porter, he can't, not tonight. Those are just certain games. That's where you enter and be like, yo, these guys got to sit. You know what I'm saying? So you're not telling Joey to lose on purpose. You're not telling him to do this and this and that. You're just sitting guys. That's all you have to do. Just sit guys when you're supposed to sit them. Because I think at the end of the day, if we're supposed to develop 5 rookies, right? We drafted 5 rookies. How are you going to develop 5 rookies if you don't play them? And we have a whole bunch of guys on this team that are better than them. Because at my point, if these rookies are playing, we're getting smoked. If that's the goal. Because if these rookies are playing 20, 30 minutes, we're getting smoked. We're probably going to be the worst team in the NBA. But the thing is, I don't think Jordy's going to play those rookies. I think he's going to put the Keons, the Jalen's, the Zaires, the Dayron, all these guys are going to be playing above those guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
To me, here's the thing, though. And look, AJ, I disagree a little bit when you say the coach shouldn't be held responsible. There is... Will Hardy, like, eventually agreed, yes, I'm going to tank these games.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be an agreement between coach and GM. And look, I don't blame players. I agree with you with that.
Yeah,
it's not the players are going to play hard always.
Yeah,
like Lauri Markkanen and John Collins, Sexton, like those guys try it all year. It's not their fault they were losing games. But the coach, if you don't have a coach that agrees with the vision, then it's like, well, what are we doing? Like, there has to be an agreement, and if there's a disagreement, then you need to pivot to something else. Like, you got to figure out a new plan.
No,
right? Yeah, no, Jordy
agree.
could, because Jordy could also be like, I don't, I'm not going to tell MPJ to sit down. I'm not going to, that's a possibility, but hopefully that, it should be like, we should easily be able to have our GM and coach be on the same page.
No, and I 100% agree with you. Like, it's like I don't really want to blame Jordy, but it's like you're right. There has to be a point where he has to agree. He has to be on the same page as Sean here. Like he has to know when to sit guys. He has to know to be all in. And a simple part of being all in for Jordy is not even about like, I don't know, making the wrong calls or shamelessly tanking or pulling a Jason Kidd or doing, spilling some water. I don't know. It's not doing the most to lose a game. It's just simply sitting a guy and playing your rookies. That's tanking. You know what I'm saying? That's tanking. It's simply, you see the score is, let's say it's 100 to 100 with 5 minutes left. You just see, some guys start to just not play, get on the bench. You'll see CT has, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, sit him for the rest of the game and play Nolan Traore. There's certain moments, where the coaches have to make decisions to tank. And I know it's an ugly part of the system, but it is part of the system. You're right. That's where the coach and the GM have to be on the same page.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, it really does suck, but Jordy... okay, if these guys that we drafted like don't develop like pretty instantly and become like legitimate, like really good players in the next couple of years, it's like Jordy could just not have a job. Like coaches are the first guys to go in the NBA, and like okay, if the Nets are still a sub 30 team by 2029, like do we start hearing rumors about Jordy's job being on the line?
Yeah, you got to imagine by around there, So
yeah, and look, and to explain my point, it's like, oh hey, if you have Darren Peterson, it's a lot easier to win these games.
Oh yeah, because it's about the talent at the end of the day, and I think like we see in the NBA, like Jordy's not safe here, and I know Nets Nation loves him. They love him dearly. Oh, he's the best coach. This isn't that best coach, and he is one of the best coaches we've had since I don't know Kenny, maybe I guess, but it's like he has to come to a point where you're not safe because if you don't get the talent at the top of the draft, and you're just in the spiral of just a mediocre team that's just losing badly every year with no talent, they're gonna move on from you eventually.
Yeah,
why keep you?
Michael Malone, like the Nuggets were on track to win 50 games, and they fired him.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen coaches get fired for less, so it's like I'm not saying I want Jordy to get fired, but I'm saying if we don't get the talent at the top of the draft, it could lead to you getting fired. Because you're just going to be on a team that's going to be mediocre in 2020. Like Saif said, in 2029, we're still at the bottom of the league. How does that help your job?
Yeah, and
how does that help you as a coach?
It's not worth playing Keon, Zaire, and all of the guys, and Wilson, all of the guys who like been here for a little bit, and we know that that these guys are gonna help us win a little bit too much in terms of getting us getting actual wins, and then also too are we going to actually take our rookie development seriously? Because if we don't this year, and like you guys talk about, if we're not getting these guys actually turned developed, I mean, it's not worth it if it's just going to be a year of us not getting a good pick and us still just being bad down the line.
Yeah. Like I think of it like this: if Jordy had rested Claxton during that Sixers game, or if he didn't try so hard to win that game, the Nets would have gotten the third pick, and that would have been one of VJ Edgecombe, Ace Bailey, or Trey Johnson. Yeah. And the outlook for the Nets' future would be so different. Yeah. Because if they had one of those guys, and look, VJ Edgecombe looked awesome in Summer League, Trey Johnson looked awesome, Ace Bailey had his moments, he still has amazing upside. Mm-hmm. If the Nets had one of those guys, then you could probably stomach winning a few more games this year because you have one of those high upside guys. Yeah. And it's all because you didn't tank as hard. And it's I don't know, it's just the longer... And look, it sucks that this is the system, but hey, tanking is your medicine, and getting higher draft picks is really important. And the longer you resist it, the worse it's going to look long term. Look at the Chicago Bulls. Yeah. The Bulls have been a play-in team for the last couple of years, and they've never gotten lucky like the Mavericks or the Hawks did and spiked in the lottery, and now they're kind of in no man's land, and it's like it's hard to say where the team is going.
You don't want to be stuck in that purgatory no man's land. Like that's the worst place to be stuck.
Yeah, we don't necessarily just want to depend on luck and like
especially because we don't have our picks in 2027, right? We don't have our pick in 2027.
We don't.
So it's like, I think, do we have our pick in 2028?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our 20, but it's 2027. We don't have our pick. So it's like with Jordy, and I know it hurts, and I love this about Jordy. Like it hurts him bad. Like he be almost wanting to cry when he loses. That's how hard he wants to. Like he wants to win bad. But it's like, for the sake of your job in the future, for the sake of this franchise getting top end tiered superstar talent, we need you to bite the bullet. We need you to bite the bullet, at least for just this year. And you know what the funny part is? The 2026 draft is so stacked. It's so good and deep. It's like this draft is a little bit more forgiving than last year. This year's, like 2026 is a little bit. You get the 7th pick in the 2026 draft, you still might be able to get an all-star. That's how crazy this draft is, and I'm not even lying. Like you still might be able to get an all-star with the 6th pick, the 7th pick. So it's like, that's the funny part about it. But it's like, now that we messed up this year's draft, we don't have to. We shouldn't take. We shouldn't settle. We have to get the top tier talent. It's superstar or bust, in my opinion. And these 3 at the top are superstars, undeniably, in my opinion. So this 2026 draft, we have to go all in and get the superstar, because we have nothing left at this point. And like I said, we don't have our 2027 draft, and it's either, if you fail, because we only have 1 pick in this draft. So if you fail this 1 pick, it will put us in a big hole, because it's like 27, we don't have our picks. And then now you're just banking on, these rookies that we drafted. I'm not saying they're going to be bad, or not saying but I don't think none of these guys are superstar potential. And if we don't get a superstar in 2026, we're going to be back in purgatory looking for free agents and, I don't know, trading whole farm for a star. Back where we were in, Kyrie days, KD days.
And look, I know this is going to bother a bunch of people watching this video, but of the 5 players we drafted, none of them have top 15 potential.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Realistic top 15 potential. Like, I think we've said before, theoretically, Demon could be like Franz Wagner, but that's not a realistic outlook. That is a very bullish, if he develops 5 other skills, he could be Franz Wagner.
Yeah. I love all these rookies, and I'm going to support them. And I'm not, I'm 100% all in. I want them to be good. But it's like, I got to keep it 1,000 here. None of these guys are superstars. None of these guys, to me, are even fringe all-stars right now. Not even in the future. And I don't see it. And it's not, and I hate to say it. I hate to be the bad guy here, but it's like, you got to keep it 100, bro. You got to keep it 1,000. These guys are, it's not
at this stage. If Nolan Traore, his rookie year just dominates, and you could clearly see it, then that would, if he averages 16, 5 and 5 his rookie year, then you could see him being the all-star superstar.
And I hope I'm wrong. I hope these guys prove me wrong and become stars. But it's I just don't see it right now.
Until we get evidence of them being that, we can't project them to be that.
Yeah. Right, yeah, and like we said, we're rooting for all of these guys, but it's just being 100, simple enough. And we got to take this, and we got to just take, and we just ultimately just have to take this year seriously, simple enough, and it shouldn't be that difficult to be like, you know what, let's play our rookies, let's get these guys developed, and let's lose some games.
Yeah, because that's part of the problem for me too. It's okay, let's say they do play good or whatever, but it's are they even going to get the opportunity to play? It's I don't trust the Nets development to turn these guys into stars. What proof do we have, of any guys they turned into stars? I know people want to say Jared Allen, but he turned to an all-star when he left.
Yeah. We got rid of him,
People want to say Claxton, CT, but it's those guys are not really all-stars. They're not. They're good players, but they're not all-stars. You know,
CT's just, it's unfortunate, but we got CT getting hate all across the league, and in terms of
yeah.
Nets
people think
fandom,
CT's
like
a six man.
Clax does not have the best outlook on everything
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
Exactly. So it's like, what proof has the Nets shown me that they can turn rookies into
they
all
want him gone.
rookies?
They want Cam Thomas gone. Like I don't consider that a draft success if they want him gone.
Yeah, so it's like
Right.
there's no evidence for me to say like, oh, yo, this Nets development. Trust me, these guys might not look like stars now. They're going to be stars. There's nothing to say. Like, there's nothing that I can look at and say, yo, these guys can turn into stars. And like, go through the draft, go through every single draft board, go through and do your research on, because we've done our research. We've looked through all draft boards and mock drafts and opinions. I've looked through like 13, 14 different scouting reports, and nobody on this that we drafted had like, yo, we can see future star potential. Nobody. So it's like, that's my issue here. And that's where I'm like, if we don't get this 2026 generational, well, not generational, but you know what I mean, superstar, we're done. You know what I'm saying? We're in a bad place. That's all I'm gonna say. We're in a very bad place. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're in a bad place.
Yeah.
Unless one of these guys we drafted this year pops off, or whoever we drafted with the 7th, 8th pick next year pops off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
and obviously we'll see how CT, we'll see how MPJ looks, but obviously we're looking to see more so in terms of our rookies, in terms of a future, because if MPJ is going crazy, we'll see.
This is the thing that just sucks about the NBA. It's like, hey, until you draft the star, like it's gonna suck. Like it's gonna be really hard unless you do this one specific thing.
Mhm.
And if you don't, it just everything else is so much harder because, like, we're not the Lakers. We're not gonna get Luka Doncic for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It just you need to draft the guy first because free agency is dead. Like I was speaking of Luka Doncic, like he was supposed to be a 2026 free agent. And he just signed his contract extension, and now it's like the free agency is like LeBron and old KD who's going to sign an extension, and it's like, dude, because free agency isn't a thing anymore. It's like you got to draft, and if you can't draft, like good luck building a team.
Yeah, we'll be searching as we can be one of these teams in purgatory for years, man. Like we need that undeniable superstar, bro, or this team is, I don't know, this franchise, man.
We're still waiting.
Yeah,
because AJ, like you watch like the under 19 FIBA stuff.
Oh,
well, AJ DeBanza, he looked awesome. Like he kept driving. Like they fouled him so much because they could not stop him when he ran to the rim, and his defense looked amazing. Like he looks like an elite two-way player already. Like his upside is so high, and Mikal Brown Jr. looked like a superstar. Yeah, and he looked awesome.
He's great. He's going to be, I think he's, like I said, like that top 5. I could really say top 5. Like the top 3, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, and AJ, I think are undeniable superstars. And then at 4 or 5, I think are all-stars. I think Mikal Brown Jr. is going to be an all-star. And I think Nate Ament has the potential to be really, 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 really good. Like maybe like Brandon Ingram-ish. So it's like, that top 5 could be dangerous. So it's like
Ament has some like real playmaking chops there, where it's like, I don't know, he could be like a Penny Hardaway.
Yeah,
like I can see it with
he's
him.
a 6'10", 6'10" kind of scoring wing that could. So it's like, it's so important for us to, because like I said, we only have one pick. It's not like 2025 where we had 5 or 4 or whatever it is. We have one pick to make this right. That's the scary part about it. Like. It's hard. Let us know in the comments. Do you trust Sean this year to shamelessly, egregiously tank, or do you think Sean's gonna ruin the tank again?
Are we gonna get 28 wins again? 29 wins?
Can't ruin this tank again, man, because it's important. You saw it. I will never forget at the lottery. You saw Daryl Morey and Sean sitting right next to each other. Daryl Morey was like, I just missed the number 1 pick. And Sean has his hands in his face like this because
we're just chilling with 8,
and we made so many videos because we're like, oh, we could possibly move up, but
hopes and prayers of going all the way up. What? Yeah, go at least up 3 spots. No, we went down 2.
Move up 3 spots because like remember that I think it was a post. Shout out to somebody on Twitter who posted like, oh, if you're 6 in the draft, all the present teams had like 7, 8, 7, 6, 8, 8. Like none of those where we were at in the draft, the 6th worst team in the NBA. In the past like 7 years, no one's ever got past that top 5. Like
and
it's
it
always
stayed
like
true,
6,
and
7,
it did stay true for us.
It stayed true.
We ended up.
We were delusional. We were like, oh no, we're gonna get that 4 or 5, that 3. Nope. It's stayed exactly where it was. The math. So
we can't depend on being the 6th worst team, 5th worst team, or even 7th, and being like, you know what, we're getting top 3, we're getting number 1, we're getting number 2. You can't. You're just simply in a better spot if you're in bottom 3. And if we get a top 3 pick and a draft like this, we are on cloud 9. And guess what? We just drafted 5 rookies. Imagine we get 2 of these guys to turn out. Yeah. And take this year seriously.
Yeah. Every team that was worse than us in this draft, in the 2025 draft, got better picks than us. So let us know in the comments how you guys feel about the tank. Do you think the Nets will shamelessly tank? Let us know in the comments. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. We'll be back.